Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Shulchan Aruch Yomi. Today's siman is siman Memches 48 in Orach Chaim. It's a short one today. That's one of the huge advantages of doing Shulchan Aruch Yomi. Some days they're really long, but a lot of days they're just really short. So you kind of feel good. It's like when you daf Yomi, like the only daf you really feel good about is the last one. Because sometimes it's like half a daf or half an amud even. But with this Shulchan Aruch Yomi, you get a lot of simanim like Mem Ches, I think Mem Tes also, and Nun also, 3 in a row. I think one sif each. So let's get started. Hagad starts over the Ramah. This is the Omer Parshat Tamid Psuke Karman Shabbos Omer Meitel Parshat Tamid. We know we've discussed previously about saying karbonos. Where I grew up in modern Orthodox synagogues. I mean, this is like staple for any minyan. Karbonos. They start at a certain time. It takes them more time to say karbanos than it takes them to say psuki the zimra. In yeshivish places, it's exactly the opposite, where some people don't even say karbanos, and they take at least 15 minutes to psuki the zimra. So let's find out about this. Haggadah, it starts with the Ramah. Omer Parshas HaTamid. You're supposed to say Parshas HaTamid in the morning, right? Just Tamid, talk about the Tamid. They show him Seder Maracha, everyone Olam Atas Sivastanu. Some say Seder Maracha, right? Abaye was Masader Seder Maracha. He told you the order of the different karbonos they used to bring in the Beis Hamikdash, what they used to do in the Avoda in the Beis Hamikdash in the morning. V'imi have Sharla Omro, B'tzibur Yachal Omro Beiso. You can't say it. You go to yeshivish place, they don't say it there. So you say it in your house. But apparently there was a minhag that they shouted it out or said it out loud. You should say it again with the tzibur, even if you said it already. You should just have in mind you're like reading the Torah, not to be Yossi the Chiyav, otherwise to be Baal Tosef. And as a Chiyav to say Parshas Karbanos, we'll talk more about that in Ian HaShulchan Aruch, whether it's actually a Daraisa Chiyav. These halachas are based on numerous Gemaras. The Gemara in Tainis says that Avram Avinu wanted he wanted proof that Klal Yisrael would be Zocha to Yorish Eretz Yisrael. So Hashem said the Karbanos, and when Hashem, he said, "What about after the Korban Havayah?" So he said that when you say these partials of the Karbanos, it's like you brought the Karbanos. And also it says at the end of Gemara, I believe in Menachos, it says, Kol Ozik of Parshas Ola, anyone who engages in learning about Parshas Ola, it's like there's makar of the Ola. So when you say these partials, it's like in the place of Karbanos. We know that Tvila is a makom, either a makom Avos Tiknum, or Gemara Bracha says, or makom Karbanos Tiknum. They're in the place of their Karbanos nowadays, but also just to say the actual Karbanos themselves also has a part in the Jewish morning service. So it's definitely worthwhile. Whether you have a chiyuv to do it or not, I've heard from Herschel Schechter, the name of Herschel Schechter, that he says saying the Parshas Tamid and maybe some of the other karbonos are actually midal raisa. There's a chiyuv del raisa to say it every day. Chiyuv del raisa from the Torah, that's more severe than muksa on Shabbos. So you'd rather go ahead and start fidgeting with your remote control, not pressing the remote control, because that might be a malacha of turning on your air conditioner, but according to with that, he says the electricity is only the Rabbanon anyway, so it could be better just turn on electricity, turn on the lights on Shabbos, than not to say Parshas Tamid. Anyway, fine. The people are really precise in mitzvos when they're reading the Torah, not just the Parshas Tamid, but Kriyas Torah on Mondays and Thursdays, and on Shabbos they shake when they do it. Dugmas Torah shenit, right? Torah was given fear. You're shaking in fear. Also, when you damage Mona Esrei, al shem kol atzmosai tomarna Hashem kamocha. All my bones are speaking about it. Hairy bones speaking to Hashem, like moving. Interestingly, he brings in the Mishnah Brura. He says, some people it helps their whatever helps your kavanah. It helps your kavanah to shuckle more. And you should shuckle. If it doesn't help your kavanah, you shouldn't shuckle. But he does say one thing. He says. Ksas misnanim mitnua mishubeshesh hakuf omer amdo rak b'rosh ofek pamli amim pamli small derek gaiva ein lasos kedi. He says no matter what your minhag is, whether it's to shuckle or not to shuckle, if you're going to shuckle, you better move your whole body. To stay straight and go like that. You ever see some people, they go like, they just move their head. You don't move your body, you move your head. That's gaiva. That's what he says. That is arrogance. Don't do that. Aleph b'shabbos omer meitzal barsha tell me, see, I'm shuckling, right? Got my whole body in it. Okay, Aleph. Shabbos Omer Meisel Parshas Atamid. Psuke Musaf the Shabbos. In addition, when you're saying the Karbanos on Shabbos, you should also mention the korban, extra korban that you bring on Shabbos. You must bring an extra korban on Shabbos, the Musaf of Shabbos. Avalo Rosh Chodesh Yom Tov. You don't mention on Rosh Chodesh Yom Tov the extra korban. You don't say that in the Karbanos. Make sure korban Torah Psuke Musaf. On Yom Tov Rosh Chodesh, you in Kriyas HaTorah, we mention these things. You don't need to say it. Hagav Yesh Omer Shmaskirin Gam Musaf Rosh Chodesh V'chei Nogin. He says on Rosh Chodesh the minhag is, the Ramah says also to mention in the Karbanos the Musaf Rosh Chodesh, the Farsim Rosh Chodesh, in order that, because these things weren't just said privately, they were said among the whole shul. In Yeshivish places, never heard of such a thing like this. That is, the idea is, and he brings the Yom Tov. You don't have to be a fire saying because everyone knows it's Yom Tov. So Yom Tov, you don't have to read about the Musaf. But the minhag is Rosh Chodesh also. You should read in the Karbanos about the Musaf. Personally, there was a period of my life where I tried to say this, especially after I heard from a Shechta, it's Del Raisa. And if I went one day without saying all of the Karbanos, I literally clap chait the entire night. I would go like this the whole night. I counted 1 million claps, every single night. Finally, I let myself sleep when I got to 1 million. Some nights I didn't make it to 1 million, so I had to do tashlumas the whole day. I would just try to make up to 1 million. It really hurt my chest, I mean, I had a problem with addiction to Advil. I'm joking. This is all a joke. No, it's okay. I mean, most posts come to hold it's not the right. So, anyway, we'll talk more, Ian. Ian Shulchan Aruch, what exactly this chiyuv is, how it relates to actually Siman Mem Zayin. We talked about the 2 mitzvahs of Limud Torah. Not going to want to miss it. Coming up next.